Sophia shoved the boxes off Maya's hands, scattering 14 years of marriage across the marble floor. "Hurry up, black bitch. My baby's room needs to be ready by Tuesday." The pregnant 26-year-old blonde stood in Maya's penthouse. No, her penthouse now. One hand on her swollen belly, the other pointing at the door like Maya was the hired help. David, Maya's husband, watched from the bedroom doorway. Said nothing. Did nothing. Sophia thought she'd won everything. The white millionaire, the $1 million home, the baby that made her untouchable. What she didn't know? Maya had just discovered Sophia was wanted in 3 states for fraud. The baby wasn't David's. And David, the man who abandoned his black wife for fertility, was completely sterile. The pregnant mistress was about to learn, you don't destroy a black woman and expect to walk away clean. Comment your city below. Let me know how far Maya's revenge travels. And subscribe, because part 2 is when things get nuclear. Not me. That's what makes her special? Maya's voice came out steady, cold. David hated when she went cold. It meant she was thinking, calculating, 3 moves ahead, like she always was in business. Maya, don't do this. Don't do what? Don't ask questions? Don't react? You've been fucking a 26-year-old receptionist for 8 months and got her pregnant, but I'm the one who shouldn't do this? David set the suitcase down, finally looked at her, really looked. I want a family. You can't give me that. Sophia can. It's biology, not betrayal. Maya laughed, actually laughed. Biology, right. So you traded in your black wife for a white girl half her age because of biology. Don't make this about race. You made it about race when you moved from the South Side to Gold Coast, and suddenly I wasn't invited to your business dinners anymore. When was the last time I met your new partners, David? When did I stop being Mrs. Richardson and start being just your wife? He grabbed the suitcase handle. This conversation is pointless. How long? I told you, 8 months. How long have you been planning to leave me? David's jaw tightened. That tell he had when cornered in negotiations. Answer me. 2 years, maybe 3. The number hit like a physical blow. 3 years. While she was trying to save their marriage, going to couples therapy alone, blaming herself for the infertility, he was already gone. Jesus Christ. I'm 47, Maya. My window for having kids is closing. Sophia got pregnant the 3rd month we were together. The 3rd month. Do you know what that felt like? To know I could actually... Get out. Maya, get out. He left. Took his suitcase, his phone charger, his good watch. Left the wedding photos on the wall, the joint bank account statements on the kitchen counter. 14 years of life together scattered across 3,000 square feet of penthouse. Maya stood at the window overlooking Lake Michigan. Watched his Mercedes pull out of the parking garage. Watched him drive north toward wherever Sophia was waiting with her pregnant belly and her blonde hair, and her future as the new Mrs. Richardson. Her phone rang. Kelly. Don't answer, Maya said to the empty room. But she answered anyway. Sweetie, I just heard. Janet saw David at that baby boutique on Oak Street with some girl and... I know. You know? How long have you known? 3 hours, maybe 4. Silence on Kelly's end. Then, oh, honey, do you want me to come over? No, Maya, you shouldn't be alone right now. Kelly, I've been alone in this marriage for 3 years. I'm pretty used to it. She hung up, poured herself bourbon, David's $300 bottle he'd been saving for something special. Guess his pregnant mistress qualified. The doorbell rang at 9 p.m. Maya opened it, expecting Kelly. Got a man in a $2,000 suit instead. Mrs. Richardson? James Hartwell, I represent your husband. May I? She stepped aside, let the divorce lawyer into her home like he was bringing groceries. Can I offer you something? Coffee? Bourbon? A front row seat to watching my life implode? Hartwell didn't smile. Opened his briefcase, set papers on her Italian marble coffee table, the one she'd picked out, paid for with her own money from her marketing exec salary. Mr. Richardson is offering $200,000 and your vehicle. He retains the penthouse, the Aspen property, investment portfolio, and Richardson Development Corporation. Maya sat down. $200,000 for 14 years. There's a prenup. You signed it in 2011. When we were broke and in love. Before I brought in half the clients that made his company worth $40 million. Nevertheless, it's valid. And Mrs. Richardson, I should advise you. Mr. Richardson has resources for an extended legal battle. This offer is designed to save you time and pain. How generous. He cheats, I get kicked out, and he's saving me from pain. Hartwell pulled out another document. There's also the matter of the timeline. Miss Bennett, Sophia, is due in 3 months. Mr. Richardson would prefer the divorce finalized before the birth, for tax purposes or moral ones. I'm not at liberty to say. Of course not. Maya picked up the papers, scanned them. Corporate dissolution, asset division, spousal maintenance termination. All the legal words for you lose everything. You have 48 hours to respond. After that, the offer reduces to $150,000. After Hartwell left, Maya sat in the dark. Didn't turn on lights when the sun set. Just sat there with the divorce papers and the bourbon, and the view of Chicago spreading out below her like a million lives she'd never live. Her phone buzzed. Text from David. Did Hartwell come by? Please sign quickly. Sophia's already picking out nursery furniture. Maya typed, "Fuck you." Deleted it. Typed, "I need time." Deleted that too. Finally sent, "1 week. I want 1 week in this penthouse before you hand it over to your girlfriend." David, "Fine. 1 week. Then it's Sophia's. Not ours. Not the new family's. Sophia's. Like Maya had been renting all along. The next morning, Maya called in sick. First time in 5 years. Her boss, Patricia, 58, white, divorced twice, called her personally. "Maya, honey, I heard." David's assistant's cousin works in our accounting department. It's all over the building. Great. By lunch, every marketing exec in Chicago would know Maya Thompson got traded in for a younger model. "I just need a day, Patricia." "Take the week. Hell, take 2. God knows I needed a month when Richard left me for that Pilates instructor." Pause. Although at least Richard married a woman his own age the second time. This girl David's with, isn't she practically a child? 26. Jesus, that's younger than my daughter. Another pause. "Maya, I'm saying this as your boss and your friend. Get a good lawyer. Don't let him screw you." "His lawyer came by last night." "Last night? Christ, the body's not even cold and he's already got attorneys knocking on your door?" Typical. Men like David, they've got the next wife lined up before they file the papers on the first one. Maya hung up feeling worse, took a shower, stared at her reflection in the mirror. Dark skin, natural hair she'd stopped straightening 3 years ago when David said he preferred it natural. She'd thought he meant it as a compliment. Now she wondered if he just wanted her to look less polished, less competition. Her phone rang. Her sister Vanessa. "Maya, Mama told me. I'm so sorry." "Thanks. But also, I have to ask, did you see this coming? You guys weren't exactly happy the last few years." Maya sat on the bathroom floor. "What do you mean?" "Come on, He stopped bringing you to company events. You stopped posting about him on Facebook. Everyone could see you two were going through something. We were trying to have a baby. For 14 years? Infertility is, Maya. Vanessa's voice went soft, pitying. Maybe this is for the best. If he wants kids and you can't have them, maybe you were just incompatible. Biologically. Maya hung up on her own sister. Stayed on the bathroom floor for an hour. Got up when the doorbell rang. This time it was them. David and Sophia. Together. Maya opened the door in her bathrobe at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. Didn't care. Sophia stood there in a cream-colored maternity dress that probably cost $800. Belly out to here. Glowing with that pregnant woman radiance everyone talks about. Hi! Sophia's voice was chirpy, young. I'm Sophia. You must be Maya. David's told me so much about you. Maya looked at David. You brought her here? She wanted to see the place. We're starting renovations next week and... Renovations? You're renovating my home for your mistress. Sophia's smile faltered. I'm not a mistress. David and I are in a committed relationship. We're having a baby. That makes me his partner. That makes you the woman who fucked a married man and got pregnant. There's a word for that. Several words, actually. Maya, don't. David stepped between them. Don't what? Don't call her what she is? You want me to be polite to the woman who destroyed my marriage? Sophia touched her belly. I didn't destroy anything. David was unhappy long before I came along. And honestly, I can see why. Maya felt something snap inside her chest. Excuse me? You're so angry, so bitter. David said you've been like this for years. Cold, distant, focused on work instead of being a wife. I was focused on work because I was building his company. I brought in the Taylor account, the Westfield deal, the entire North Shore portfolio. And look how that turned out, Sophia smiled. Sweet. Poisonous. All that work, and you still couldn't give him the one thing that actually matters. A family. David put his hand on Sophia's shoulder. Babe, maybe we should come back later. No, I think Maya needs to hear this. Sophia stepped closer. You had 14 years. 14 years to make him happy, to give him a child, to be the wife he needed. And you failed. So yeah, I came along. I gave him what you couldn't. That doesn't make me the villain. It makes me the woman who actually loves him enough to give him everything. Maya looked at David. You're going to let her talk to me like this? In my own home? It's not your home anymore, Maya. The lawyers made that clear. That's when Maya saw it. Really saw it. David wasn't uncomfortable. He wasn't embarrassed. He was proud. Proud to have this young, pregnant, white woman who looked at him like he was God's gift. Get out. We just want to measure the nursery. Get out of my house, before I call the police and have you removed for trespassing. Sophia clutched David's arm. Is she serious? Maya, be reasonable. I'm being perfectly reasonable. You have 6 more days before this place is yours. Until then, you don't get to parade your pregnant girlfriend through here like I'm already erased. David's jaw clenched. Fine. We'll come back next week. But Maya, sign the papers. Hartwell's offer expires tomorrow. They left. Maya locked the door, slid down to the floor. Didn't cry. She was past crying. Just sat there feeling the weight of what had just happened. Then she stood up, walked to her laptop, opened it, typed, Sophia Bennett, Chicago background check. Paused, added, Sophia Bennett, plus fraud. Hit enter. The search results loaded. Third one down. Woman wanted in 3 states for romance scams, uses alias Sophie Bennett to target wealthy men. Maya clicked. The photo was from a news article in Denver. 2 years old. The blonde hair was shorter, the face a little different, maybe some work done. But those eyes were identical. She read, Sophie Bennett, 24, is wanted for defrauding multiple victims in Colorado, Arizona, and Texas. Her method involves targeting married men, initiating affairs, claiming pregnancy, and extracting money before disappearing. Victims report losses ranging from $50,000 to $200,000. Maya read it again. Read it a third time. Then she smiled, picked up her phone, called a number she'd saved years ago from a case her firm had worked on. Marcus Chen Investigations. Mr. Chen, my name is Maya Richardson. I need to hire a private investigator, and I need someone who's very, very good at finding people who don't want to be found. What's the situation? My husband left me for a woman who's pregnant with his child. Except, I don't think the child is his. And I don't think the woman is who she says she is. Silence on the other end. Then, when can you come to my office? Tomorrow morning, first thing. I'll clear my schedule. And Mrs. Richardson, bring everything you have on this woman. Bank statements, photos, addresses, phone numbers, everything. I will. Maya hung up, looked at the Denver article again, saved the image, saved the article, started a folder on her desktop labeled Sophia. Her phone buzzed. David, did you sign the papers? Maya typed back. Not yet. Still reading through everything. My lawyer wants to review. She didn't have a lawyer, couldn't afford one with the money she'd socked away. Only about $40,000 in her personal account. David had the rest tied up in joint accounts he'd probably already frozen. But she had something better than money right now. She had information. David, you don't need a lawyer. It's a fair deal. Maya, then you won't mind me taking my time to verify that. She turned off her phone, sat back, looked at the article about Sophie Bennett again. 3 states, multiple victims, a pattern. And if this was the same woman, if Sophia was really Sophie, then David wasn't just being cheated on, he was being set up, conned, played by a professional. The question was, what was Maya going to do with that information? She could tell him, warn him, save him from losing everything to a con artist. Or she could wait. Watch. Let him marry Sophia. Let him put her on the birth certificate. Let him tie himself legally to this woman. And then expose her after the damage was done. Maya pulled up the divorce papers again. Read through them carefully this time. David kept everything. The penthouse, the company, the investments. She got $200,000 and her car. Unless David's assets became contested in a fraud investigation. Unless his pregnant girlfriend turned out to be a wanted criminal. Unless everything he was building with Sophia came crashing down. Then the divorce might look very different. Maya opened a new document, started typing notes. Timeline. David and Sophia met 8 months ago. She got pregnant 3 months in. That meant she'd been around for 5 months before getting pregnant. Plenty of time to research him, learn his weaknesses, plan her approach. Method. According to the article, Sophie targeted married men specifically. Easier to manipulate because they were already hiding something, already vulnerable. Motive. Money. Always money. David was worth $40 million on paper. A pregnancy meant child support. A marriage meant community property. And if she played it right, she could walk away with millions. Maya's phone rang. She turned it back on. Unknown number. Mrs. Richardson? This is Dr. James Wilson. I'm a fertility specialist. Your name came across my desk in relation to some medical records from St. Mary's Hospital, and I have some concerns I'd like to discuss with you. Would you be available to meet? What kind of concerns? It's rather sensitive. I'd prefer to discuss it in person, but I will say this. I believe you may have been given incorrect information about your fertility status. Information that may have affected major life decisions. Maya's heart stopped. What are you saying? I'm saying the doctor who treated you and your husband 14 years ago had his medical license revoked last year for malpractice, specifically for misdiagnosing female infertility to protect male patients' egos. The room tilted.
Are you telling me I'm not infertile?
I'm saying the tests don't support that diagnosis. But more importantly, I'm saying your husband's tests from that same time period show some concerning results. Results that should have been disclosed to both of you. What results? Mrs. Richardson, I really think we should discuss this in person. Are you free tomorrow afternoon? Yes, I'm free. 2 o'clock. My office is at Michigan Avenue in Walton. And Miss Richardson, bring your husband's medical records if you have them, all of them. Maya hung up, stared at the wall. Not infertile. 14 years of thinking something was wrong with her. 14 years of invasive treatments and negative tests and crushing disappointment. 14 years of David blaming her, leaving her, replacing her. And it was all based on a lie. She picked up her phone, typed, Dr. James Wilson, fertility specialist. Top result. Dr. Wilson, MD, PhD. Leading researcher in male infertility and azoospermia. Male infertility. Maya started laughing, couldn't stop. Laughed until tears ran down her face, until her stomach hurt, until the absurdity of it all became too much. David was sterile. Had to be. That's why the doctor had lied, to protect David's ego by blaming Maya instead. Which meant Sophia's baby wasn't his. Which meant everything. The affair, the pregnancy, the divorce, the new life he was building, was based on a lie. And Maya was going to prove it. She opened her laptop again, sent an email to Marcus Chen with the Denver article attached. This is the woman my husband is leaving me for. I think she's running the same con on him that she ran on 3 other men. I need you to prove it. Then she opened another email to Dr. Wilson. I'll bring everything tomorrow. And doctor, whatever you have to tell me about my husband's fertility, I'm ready to hear it. Maya stood up, walked to the window, looked out at Chicago glittering in the dark. David Richardson thought he'd won, thought he'd traded up, thought he was finally getting the family and the life he deserved. But he'd made one critical mistake. He'd underestimated his wife. And by the time Maya Thompson was done, David would wish he'd never heard the name Sophia Bennett. The game was on, and this time Maya was playing to win. Marcus Chen's office smelled like old coffee and new money. Located in a loop high-rise, 34th floor, overlooking the Chicago River. Maya sat across from him at 9 a.m. sharp, a manila folder in her lap containing everything she had on Sophia Bennett. Tell me about your husband first, Marcus said. He was 50, Chinese-American, with the kind of face that revealed nothing. How'd you two meet? Why does that matter? Because I need to know if he's stupid or just arrogant. Stupid men fall for different cons than arrogant ones. Maya leaned back. David's not stupid. He built a $40 million real estate company from nothing. With your help. I brought in half the clients, yes. So arrogant. Good. That's easier to work with. Marcus opened his own laptop. Sophie Bennett, that's her real name, not Sophia, has been running this con since she was 21. 5 years, 6 victims that I've found so far. Your husband makes number 7. 6 other men? Denver, Phoenix, Austin, Miami, Atlanta, and 1 in Milwaukee. All married, all wealthy, all over 40. She finds them through work, office buildings, business conferences, hotel bars. gets pregnant fast, demands marriage or money, then disappears before the baby's born. Maya felt her stomach turn. The babies. Never David's, or John's, or Michael's, or any of theirs. She's got a boyfriend, Tyler Brooks, 28, unemployed, living off her income. He's the father every single time. Every time? Marcus turned his laptop around, showed her a photo. Young guy, dark hair, cocky smile, standing next to a blonde woman with her hand on her belly. The woman was Sophia. The photo was dated 8 months ago. That's from her Instagram. Private account, but I've got access. She posts regularly with Tyler, then scrubs the photos when she's working a new mark. Your husband's not on her social media at all. He thinks he is. She's always taking photos of them together. For what? Her private collection? Maya, she's documenting her cons. The photos with Tyler are the real relationship. Everything else is business. Maya stared at the photo. Sophia's hand on her belly, Tyler's arm around her waist. They looked happy, in love, real. How much has she taken from the others? Marcus pulled up a spreadsheet. Denver guy lost $200,000 in baby expenses before she vanished. Phoenix guy paid $150,000 for an apartment she never moved into. Austin guy, $300,000. He was the richest. Miami guy went bankrupt trying to pay child support for a kid that wasn't his. Atlanta guy figured it out early, only lost $50,000. Milwaukee guy killed himself. The last one hit like a punch. He killed himself? Jumped off a bridge 3 months after she left. Left a note saying he'd lost everything. His marriage, his kids, his business, for a woman who never existed. Maya couldn't breathe right. And nobody's caught her? She's good. Changes cities, changes names slightly. Sophie, Sophia, Sophia. Gets pregnant right away, so the timeline's confusing. Targets men who won't want their wives knowing about the affair. And she never stays long enough for anyone to build a legal case. Until now. Until now. Marcus leaned forward. Maya, I can get you everything you need to prove this woman is a fraud. Bank records, witness statements, DNA evidence eventually. But I need to know, what do you want to do with that information? What do you mean? Do you want to save your husband? Warn him before he loses everything? Or do you want to watch him burn? Maya looked out the window, watched the boats on the river, the cars on Wacker Drive, the city moving forward like nothing was wrong. I want justice. Justice or revenge? What's the difference? Marcus smiled. Small. Professional. Justice is warning him now, stopping the con, protecting his assets. Revenge is letting him marry her, letting him put his name on that birth certificate, letting him lose everything first, then exposing her. Maya turned back to him. How long until the baby's born? 10 weeks, maybe 12. And how long until David finalizes our divorce? According to the timeline his lawyer gave you, 6 weeks. So he'll be legally divorced from me and probably engaged to Sophia before the baby comes. That's typically how she works it. Get the ring, get the birth certificate, get the bank accounts, then disappear. Maya opened her folder, pulled out the divorce papers. $200,000 and my car. That's what he's offering me for 14 years of marriage. You sign those papers, you've got no claim to anything he loses afterward. And if I don't sign, then you're still his wife when the fraud investigation starts, when his assets get frozen, when his company gets pulled into a criminal case. Marcus paused. You'd be in a much better position to negotiate a real settlement. Maya looked at the papers, at her signature line, still blank. I have an appointment this afternoon with a fertility doctor. Why? Because the doctor who treated us 14 years ago told me I was infertile. Told me it was my fault we couldn't have kids. But I found out he lost his license for malpractice, specifically for lying to female patients to protect male egos. Marcus's expression changed. You think your husband's sterile? I think if Sophia's pregnant and David's sterile, that's pretty definitive proof this baby isn't his. You need that medical record, official diagnosis. That's what I'm getting today. Marcus stood up, reached across the desk, shook her hand. Mrs. Richardson, I think you and I are going to work very well together. The appointment with Dr. James Wilson was at 2 p.m. His office was in a medical building on Michigan Avenue, all glass and steel, and the kind of wealth that whispered instead of shouted. Dr. Wilson was 60, black, with silver hair and the bearing of a man who'd spent his career being the smartest person in every room. Mrs. Richardson, thank you for coming. He gestured to a chair. I've reviewed your medical records from St. Mary's Hospital, the ones from 2011 through 2014. And I'm appalled. He opened a file on his desk. The doctor who treated you, Dr. Gerald Foster, systematically misdiagnosed female infertility to avoid telling male patients they were sterile. He did this for nearly 20 years before someone finally reported him. Maya felt her hands start shaking. So, I'm not infertile? Your test results are completely normal. Above average, actually. Your hormone levels, your ovarian reserve, everything. There was never anything wrong with you. And my husband? Dr. Wilson pulled out another set of papers. Your husband has severe oligospermia, bordering on azoospermia. In layman's terms, he produces virtually no viable sperm. The likelihood of him fathering a child naturally is less than 1%, closer to 0. The room tilted. How long has he been like this? Based on these tests, probably since his early 20s. Could be genetic, could be environmental, but it's been consistent across every test he took. And Dr. Foster knew. Dr. Foster absolutely knew, and he chose to tell you that you were the problem. Dr. Wilson took off his glasses. Mrs. Richardson, I'm deeply sorry. This kind of malpractice has ruined lives, marriages, families, and it disproportionately affects women, particularly black women who are already blamed for everything. Maya started laughing. Couldn't help it. 14 years of guilt. 14 years of thinking her body was broken. 14 years of being looked at like she'd failed as a woman. All because some white doctor decided her husband's ego was more important than her truth. Is there documentation? Something official that says he's sterile? I can provide you with a full report. Medical records, test results, expert analysis. Everything you'd need for legal purposes. Legal purposes? Dr. Wilson looked at her carefully. Maya, may I call you Maya? I don't know what you're planning, but if there's a child involved and questions of paternity, this documentation could be crucial. There's a child, due in 10 weeks. My husband's girlfriend is pregnant. Then that child is not biologically his. Maya took the report, held it like evidence in a murder trial, which, in a way, it was. The murder of her marriage, her self-worth, her 14 years. Dr. Wilson, can I ask you something? Of course. When you see cases like mine, women who were lied to, who blame themselves, how do they move on? He was quiet for a moment. The ones who heal? They stop waiting for apologies from people who'll never give them. They stop needing validation from people who destroyed them. They just rebuild on their own terms. Maya left his office with the medical report in her bag and the clarity she hadn't felt in years. Her phone rang. Marcus. I've got something. Sophia and Tyler are meeting right now. Cafe on Randolph. You want to see? I'm 10 minutes away. Maya made it in 8. Parked illegally, didn't care. Walked into the cafe and saw them immediately. Sophia, blonde, glowing, that belly on display in a tight dress, sitting across from Tyler. His hand was on her stomach. They were laughing. Maya ordered coffee, sat 3 tables away, pretending to read her phone. "Babe, I'm so sick of pretending," Sophia's voice carried.
He's so old and boring. Last night, he wanted to talk about retirement accounts. Retirement? Like I'm going to be around for that.
Tyler grinned. "How much longer?"
Baby's due in 10 weeks. I'll stay maybe 2 weeks after, get my name on everything I can, then we're gone. I'm thinking Maui. Somewhere far from Chicago winters and old rich men.
What about the ex-wife?
That black bitch? She's signing the divorce papers this week.
David's lawyer said she's got no choice. The prenup's airtight. She gets basically nothing, and I get everything. Maya's hand tightened on her coffee cup. You think she suspects anything? Please, she's too busy crying about her broken marriage. I saw her yesterday. She looks like hell. No job, no man, no future. Honestly, I almost feel bad for her. You don't feel bad for anyone. True, Sophia laughed, but it's gotta suck being replaced by me. Younger, prettier, fertile. Everything she's not. Tyler leaned in. You're terrible. I'm practical. David wanted a baby? I'm giving him one. Just not his baby. He wanted a wife who worships him? That's what I'm playing. And when this is over, we're walking away with at least 2 million. Maybe 3 if I play it right. And if he finds out? He won't. By the time anyone figures it out, we'll be gone. New names, new city, new con. Maya stood up, walked past their table, let her purse knock Sophia's water glass over. Oh God, I'm so sorry! Maya grabbed napkins, started dabbing at the table. Sophia looked up. Recognition flickered across her face. You. Hi, Sophia, right? I'm Maya, David's wife. She smiled, extended her hand. Well, ex-wife soon. You know how it is. Tyler had gone pale. Sophia recovered faster. Maya, what a surprise. I was just getting coffee. Crazy coincidence. Maya looked at Tyler. And you are? He's, Sophia started. Tyler, I'm Sophia's brother. Brother, how nice. Family support during pregnancy is so important. Maya kept smiling. Sophia, you look wonderful. Glowing. When are you due again? 10 weeks. And you know it's a boy? Yes, we did the genetic testing. Genetic testing. That's smart. Tells you everything, doesn't it? Paternity, health issues, all of it. Sophia's smile froze. It's routine. Of course. Well, I should let you two catch up. Brother and sister, so much to talk about. Maya picked up her coffee. It was lovely seeing you, Sophia. Tyler, take care of that baby. She walked out. Got to her car, hands shaking so hard she could barely get the key in the ignition. Her phone rang. Marcus. Did you get it? Every word. High-quality audio, clear voices, incriminating as hell. Maya sat there, engine running, recording playing back in her mind. That black bitch. She gets basically nothing. We're walking away with at least 2 million, she called Marcus. I want everything. Every victim, every city, every con. I want medical records, financial records, witness statements. I want to know every lie she's ever told and every dollar she's ever stolen. That's going to take time. We have 10 weeks. Maya, what are you planning? I'm planning to make sure Sophia Bennett regrets the day she ever heard my name. That night, Maya sat in her apartment, the tiny one-bedroom she'd rented after leaving the penthouse, and made a list. Evidence collected. Sophia's criminal history in 3 states. Audio recording of her admitting the con. Medical proof that David was sterile. Financial records showing she was stealing from his company. Witness statements from previous victims. Evidence needed. DNA proof that Tyler was the father. More documentation of the theft. Confirmation that she was using fake credentials. Maya's phone buzzed. Patricia, her boss.
Maya, honey, can you come by the office tomorrow? There's someone I want you to meet. Who? A client. Big account. They specifically asked for you. Patricia, I'm on leave. I know, but this one's special. Trust me. The next morning, Maya walked into Patricia's office and found a black woman sitting there. Late 50s, expensive suit, the kind of presence that filled a room.
Maya, this is Angela Morrison. Angela? Maya Richardson. Angela stood, shook Maya's hand with a grip that meant business. Mrs. Richardson, I've heard excellent things about your work.
Thank you. What kind of account are we talking about?
My account. I'm the CEO of Morrison Media Group. We're looking for a marketing director. Patricia said you might be available. Maya looked at Patricia. I'm going through a divorce. My situation's complicated.
Complicated how?
Angela sat back down. Financially? Professionally? Personally? All three. Good. Complicated women are the only ones worth hiring. Simple women don't survive in this business. Angela opened a folder. I'm offering you $250,000 a year, full benefits, stock options, and a corner office. You start in 2 weeks. Maya couldn't speak. I know about your husband, Angela continued. I know about the mistress. I know about the divorce. And frankly, I don't care. What I care about is that you brought in $15 million worth of business to your last firm. I want that kind of talent working for me. Why me? Because you're hungry. Women going through divorces are the most motivated employees I've ever seen. They show up early, stay late, and don't take shit from anyone. Plus, you're black and brilliant, which means you've been underestimated your entire career. I don't underestimate. Patricia was smiling. I told her you were on leave, but I thought you should hear the offer. Maya looked at Angela, at the contract on the table, at the number. $250,000. That was more than David's settlement offer. I'll need to start remotely for the first month. I have some personal matters to handle. Handle whatever you need to handle. Just be ready to crush it when you're done. Maya signed the contract, walked out of Patricia's office with a job that paid more than her marriage settlement, a boss who didn't pity her, and a future that didn't include David Richardson. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Mrs. Richardson? This is Detective Sarah Chen, Chicago PD. I understand you've been investigating a woman named Sophie Bennett, also known as Sophia Mitchell. I'd like to talk to you about that. Maya's heart stopped. Am I in trouble? No, but Sophie Bennett is. We've had a warrant out for her arrest in 3 states. If she's in Chicago, using the name Sophia, I need to know everything you know. Maya sat down on a bench outside the office building, looked up at the sky, felt something shift in the universe. Detective, I can do better than tell you. I can prove it. By the time Maya got home that night, she had a job, a detective on her side, a lawyer reviewing her divorce papers, and enough evidence to put Sophia in prison. She poured herself wine, cheap wine this time, the $12 bottle she could afford, and opened her laptop. Typed, Sophia Bennett baby announcement. Found David's Facebook page. He'd posted that morning. Excited to announce that Sophia and I are expecting a son in 10 weeks. New chapter, new family, new life. The comments were exactly what Maya expected. Congratulations! So happy for you. You deserve this. Kelly had commented, beautiful news.
Wishing you both all the best.
Maya clicked on Sophia's profile. Private, but she could see the profile photo. Sophia and David, his hand on her belly, both of them smiling. The caption: "When God closes a door, he opens a window. Blessed." Maya closed the laptop. Tomorrow she'd meet with Detective Chen. Tomorrow, she'd give Marcus the go-ahead to dig deeper. Tomorrow, she'd sign the papers Angela gave her and start planning her actual future. But tonight, she let herself feel it. The rage, the betrayal, the bone-deep satisfaction of knowing that Sophia had no idea what was coming. Because in 10 weeks, David would be standing in a hospital room meeting his son. And Maya would be standing in a courtroom with enough evidence to destroy them both. The game wasn't over. It was just beginning. Detective Sarah Chen's office was in the downtown precinct, 4th floor, a room that smelled like burnt coffee and old case files. Maya sat across from her, Marcus Chen beside her. No relation, they joked when introductions were made. "So you're telling me Sophie Bennett has been operating in Chicago for 8 months under the name Sophia Mitchell, and she's currently engaged to your husband?" Sarah had her notebook out, pen ready. "Ex-husband, soon. And yes." "And you have proof she's the same woman wanted in Colorado, Arizona, and Texas?" Marcus slid a folder across the desk. Facial recognition match, fingerprint match, from a coffee cup she discarded, and about 50 hours of surveillance footage. It's her. Sarah opened the folder, studied the photos. Jesus, she's gotten bolder. Usually she disappears before the baby's born. Why is she still here? "Because David Richardson is worth $40 million, Maya said. The others were small time compared to him. She's going for the big score. "And the pregnancy?" "Tyler Brooks is the father, her boyfriend of 5 years. We have DNA from both of them, hair samples, fingerprints, everything. When that baby's born, testing will prove it's not David's. But by then she'll be gone. Not if we stop her first." Sarah leaned back in her chair. "Here's the problem. Fraud cases are hard to prosecute when the victim is complicit. Your husband willingly gave her money, willingly moved her into his home, willingly signed her onto his accounts. A good lawyer argues it was all gifts, not theft. What about the fake identity? That's better. Using a false name to obtain money or property. That's fraud. But I need him to press charges. Will he?" Maya thought about David standing in the bedroom doorway, watching Sophia call her a black bitch. "I don't know. His ego might not survive admitting he was conned." "Then we need irrefutable evidence, the kind a prosecutor can't ignore, even if the victim won't cooperate." Sarah pulled out her own file. "I've been tracking Sophie Bennett for 2 years. She's gotten away with this 6 times because the victims either don't report it or withdraw their complaints out of embarrassment. I'm not letting her make it 7. "What do you need from me?" "Everything you've got, and I need you to keep gathering evidence until we can make an arrest. Can you do that?" Maya looked at Marcus. He nodded. "We can do that." "Good, because Sophie Bennett is getting married in 6 weeks. I saw the announcement online. If she becomes Mrs. Richardson legally, she's got access to everything. We need to stop her before then." Maya's phone buzzed. Text from David. "Sophia and I are having a small engagement party this Saturday. I know it's awkward, but some of the guests will be mutual friends. Please don't make things difficult." She showed the text to Sarah. "He's really getting engaged while you're still legally married? Divorce finalizes in 4 weeks. That's cutting it close." Sarah read the text again. "Actually, this party might be useful. Public event, witnesses, everyone in one place. If you can get evidence of her admitting something incriminating with witnesses present, that strengthens the case. You want me to crash their engagement party? I want you to attend as a guest and document everything. Can you do that without losing your composure?" Maya thought about 14 years of marriage dissolving so David could play house with a con artist.
I can do that.
Marcus waited until they were outside the precinct to speak. You sure about this? Going to that party could backfire.
How?
Sophia could make you look crazy. David could have you thrown out. Your mutual friends could side with them. He stopped walking. Maya, you've built a strong case. Don't blow it by confronting them prematurely. I'm not confronting them. I'm gathering evidence. In front of 50 people who already chose his side? Maya turned to face him. Marcus, those 50 people need to see who Sophia really is. They need to understand what she's capable of. Because when this all comes out, when she's arrested and David's humiliated and the truth is everywhere, they need to remember that I tried to warn them. You want witnesses. I want them to know they were complicit. Every person who took Sophia's side, who called me bitter or jealous or angry, they were helping a criminal destroy a man's life. I want them to live with that. Marcus studied her face. All right, but I'm coming with you, and I'm wiring you for audio. You think that's necessary? I think Sophia's dangerous when cornered, and I think you're about to corner her. The next 3 days, Maya worked, started her new job remotely, impressed Angela Morrison with a marketing strategy that brought in 2 new clients immediately, and spent her evenings with Marcus planning the engagement party operation. She's going to be surrounded by David's people, Marcus said, spreading photos across his desk. Business partners, golf buddies, couples from their social circle. You'll be walking into hostile territory. What about Tyler? Will he be there? Doubtful. Too risky. But I've got someone watching him. If he shows up, we'll know. Maya's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Maya? It's Kelly. Silence stretched between them. I know you probably don't want to talk to me, Kelly continued. But I need to tell you something about Sophia. What about her? I saw her yesterday at Nordstrom. She was with some guy. Not David. Dark hair, younger, very familiar with her. They were looking at baby furniture together. What do you mean familiar? Holding hands, kissing. Maya, I think she's cheating on David. Maya sat down. What did he look like? Kelly described Tyler Brooks perfectly. Did anyone else see them? I don't know. It was mid-afternoon on a Wednesday. Not exactly prime shopping time. Kelly paused. Maya, I'm sorry. For everything. For not believing you. For going to Amanda's party. For... Why are you telling me this now? Because something's not right about her. The way she talks about David, it's... cold. Clinical. Like he's a project, not a partner. Another pause. And because you were my friend for 15 years before you were David's ex-wife, I should have remembered that sooner. Maya closed her eyes. Kelly, I need you to do something for me. Anything. Are you invited to the engagement party? Yes. Go. And pay attention. Really pay attention to how Sophia acts when David's not around. You're planning something. I'm planning to tell the truth. The question is whether anyone will listen. Saturday arrived, cold and clear. The engagement party was at the Peninsula Hotel, Michigan Avenue penthouse suite, the kind of venue that cost $50,000 just to rent. Maya wore black. Simple dress, heels, hair pulled back. She looked like she was attending a funeral. In a way, she was. Marcus met her in the lobby. You're wired. Everything you say, everything you hear, I'm recording. Detective Chen is listening too, just in case. In case of what? In case Sophia threatens you. In case David gets violent. In case anything happens that we need documented. He adjusted the tiny microphone hidden in her necklace. Remember, stay calm. Don't accuse, just observe and let her talk. And if she doesn't talk? She will.
Women like Sophia can't resist gloating, especially to the woman she replaced. The elevator ride to the penthouse felt like ascending to execution.
When the doors opened, Maya heard music, laughter, champagne glasses clinking. She walked in. The room went quiet. 50 people turned to stare. David stood by the window with Sophia. Her belly was enormous now. 8 months, visible in a tight white dress that probably cost more than Maya's monthly rent. "Maya," David's voice was tight. "You came. You invited me. I didn't think you'd actually show up." Maya smiled, walked further into the room. "Why wouldn't I? We're all adults here. We can be civilized about this." Sophia's expression was pure calculation. She whispered something to David, then approached Maya with a champagne flute in hand. "Maya, how nice of you to come. Can I get you a drink?" "No, thank you. I'm driving." "Of course. Always so responsible." Sophia touched her belly. "David and I are so glad you could celebrate with us. It means a lot that you're being mature about this." The condescension was intentional. Everyone nearby was listening, watching how Maya would react. "Congratulations on the engagement. When's the wedding?" "Next month. Small ceremony, just close friends and family. Nothing like your wedding to David. He said that one was exhausting." Direct hit. The barb was designed to humiliate Maya in front of everyone. "Well, second weddings are usually simpler, especially when the groom knows what he's looking for this time." Maya smiled wider. "Tell me, Sophia, how did you two meet? David was always so private about his work life." "Oh, you know, the usual way. Right place, right time, right connection." "And your family? Will they be coming to the wedding?" Sophia's smile faltered, just for a second. "My family lives out of state. It's complicated." "I understand. Families can be difficult. What state are they in?" "Why do you ask?" "Just making conversation. I'd love to meet them someday. Your brother especially. Tyler, was it?" The name hit like a slap. Sophia's face went white. "I don't have a brother named Tyler." "Oh, my mistake. I must have confused you with someone else." Maya looked around the room. "This is a beautiful party. You must be so excited about the baby." David appeared beside Sophia. "Maya, can I talk to you privately?" "Of course." They walked to a quiet corner. David's jaw was clenched so tight Maya could see the muscle jumping. "What are you doing here?" "You invited me." "I didn't think you'd come." "You said that already." "David, what's really bothering you? That I showed up, or that I'm not causing a scene?" "You're making Sophia uncomfortable." "By asking about her family?" "By being here. She's pregnant. She doesn't need stress." Maya looked at him. Really looked. The man she'd married at 28 was gone. This version was older, harder, defensive. "How well do you know her, David?" "What?" "Sophia, how well do you actually know her? Her family, her past, her friends?" "I know enough." "Do you? Have you met her parents, her siblings, anyone from her life before you?" "That's none of your business." "You're right, it's not. But it should be yours." Maya turned to leave, then stopped. "One more question. Have you done a paternity test?" David's face went red. "That's insulting." "It's a reasonable question. You're not married yet. The baby's not born yet. You're about to put your name on a birth certificate and commit to 18 years of financial responsibility. Don't you want to be sure?" "The baby is mine." "How do you know?" "Because Sophia told me." "And you believe her?" "Why wouldn't I? Unlike you, she's not bitter and jealous." The words were meant to cut. They did. But Maya didn't flinch. I'm not bitter, David. I'm concerned. There are things about Sophia you don't know. Things you should know before you marry her. Like what? Maya pulled out her phone, showed him the Denver article about Sophie Bennett. Like the fact that her real name is Sophie Bennett and she's wanted for fraud in 3 states. David looked at the article, then at Maya. Then he laughed. You're insane. You know that? You're so desperate to destroy my happiness that you're making up conspiracy theories. It's not made up. Look at the photo. That doesn't look anything like Sophia. It's her. 2 years ago. Different hair, maybe some work done, but it's her. She's run this exact con on 6 other men. Pregnant, engaged, then disappears with their money. You need help, Maya. Professional help. David, no. I'm done listening to this. You're jealous because I found someone who can give me what you never could. And instead of accepting it with dignity, you're trying to sabotage my relationship with lies. They're not lies. I have proof. Medical records, financial records, witness statements. Get out. David, listen to me. Get out. Get out of this party, get out of my life, and get out of whatever delusional fantasy you're living in where you're the victim. Maya looked past him. Sophia was watching from across the room, smiling, victorious. Fine, I'll go. But David, when this all falls apart, and it will, remember that I tried to warn you. She left. Took the elevator down 40 floors with her heart pounding and Marcus's voice in her earpiece. You did good. We got everything. He didn't believe me. He will, eventually. But Maya, we need to accelerate the timeline. Sophia's suspicious now. She's going to move faster. Maya stepped out onto Michigan Avenue. Cold November air hit her face. What do you mean, accelerate? I mean, we can't wait for the baby to be born. We need to move now. How? Meet me at the office. I've got something that's going to change everything. Marcus's office was dark except for his computer screen. When Maya walked in, he was already pulling up files. I've been tracking Tyler Brooks's movements. He's been staying at a motel in Cicero. Paid cash, using a fake name, but I confirmed it's him. Marcus clicked to another window. And he's been meeting with someone. Someone you need to see. The photo showed Tyler sitting in a car with another blonde woman. Pregnant. About 6 months along. Maya stared. Who is that? Her name is Jennifer Walsh. Lives in Milwaukee. Filed a police report 8 months ago, claiming Sophie Bennett defrauded her husband out of $200,000. Marcus pulled up another photo. Tyler's the father of her baby, too. He's running the same con on multiple women at the same time? Looks like it. Sophie works the mark, Tyler fathers the baby, they split the money and move on. Except this time, Jennifer didn't disappear. She stayed and pressed charges. Does Detective Chen know about this? She does now. I sent her everything an hour ago. Marcus turned his chair to face Maya. Maya, this is bigger than just your husband. Sophie and Tyler have been running this con for 5 years across 8 states. They've stolen over $2 million. Detective Chen thinks they're part of a larger network. Maya sat down. A network? Romance scams targeting wealthy married men. Multiple women, multiple boyfriends. Same playbook. They share information, tactics, even marks. It's organized crime. And David walked right into it. He's their biggest target yet. If they can get him to marry Sophie, put her on his accounts, make her beneficiary on his insurance and will, they're looking at $10 million minimum, maybe more. Maya's phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. You shouldn't have come to the party. Bad things happen to women who can't let go. She showed it to Marcus. That's a threat. Screenshot it. Send it to Detective Chen. He stood up. Maya, I think you need protection. If Sophie knows you're investigating, I'm not scared of her. You should be. Jennifer Walsh was hospitalized last month. Someone broke into her house and beat her unconscious. She's still recovering. The room felt colder. You think Sophie did that? I think Sophie has done a lot of things we don't know about yet, and I think you just became a target. Maya looked at the text message again, read it 3 times. What if we move up the timeline? What if we expose her now, before the wedding? How? David's hosting a baby shower next week, at the penthouse. Big event, all his business partners, friends, family. What if we showed up with proof? Photos, recordings, everything. Marcus shook his head. Too public. Too many ways it could go wrong. Sophie could spin it as you being a scorned ex-wife. David could have you arrested for harassment. Then what do? We wait. We watch. And when the baby's born, we have DNA ready to prove it's not David's. Marcus pulled up a calendar. She's due in 4 weeks. That's our window. The moment that baby arrives, we test. And then we have irrefutable proof. Maya stood up, walked to the window, looked out at Chicago lit up in the dark. 4 weeks. And what if she disappears before then? She won't. She's already sent out wedding invitations. She's too deep in the con to run now. Maya's phone rang. Kelly. Maya, you need to hear this. After you left the party, I overheard Sophia talking to someone on the phone. She said, "The ex-wife knows something. We need to move faster. Wedding's in 3 weeks, not 4. Who was she talking to? I don't know, but Maya, she sounded scared, like actually worried. Did David hear her? No, he was in the other room, but Maya? She also said something else. She said, if she becomes a problem, we handle it like Milwaukee. Maya looked at Marcus. She's talking about Jennifer Walsh. Who? Kelly asked. I'll explain later. Kelly, I need you to do something for me. Keep going to these events. Keep listening. If you hear anything else, anything at all, call me immediately. Are you in danger? I don't know, but I'm not backing down. After Kelly hung up, Marcus pulled up another file. There's something else. I didn't want to show you until I was certain, but now I think you need to see it. He turned the laptop around. Bank statements. David's accounts. Sophia's been stealing from him. Not just using his credit cards, actually moving money. $5,000 here, $10,000 there. Small enough he hasn't noticed, but it adds up. She's taken $127,000 in the last 6 months. Maya felt sick. Where's the money going? Offshore accounts. Cayman Islands. Untraceable unless you know where to look. Marcus highlighted a transaction. This one's from yesterday. $25,000. Moved the day after your engagement party confrontation. She's accelerating because I spooked her. Exactly, which means we're running out of time. Marcus closed the laptop. Maya, I think we need to bring this to David directly. Show him everything. Force him to see the truth. He won't believe me. Then we make him believe. We bring Detective Chen. We bring the evidence. We bring Jennifer Walsh. We make it impossible for him to deny. Maya thought about David's face at the party, the way he'd looked at her like she was crazy, like she was the villain in this story. If we do this, there's no going back. Our marriage will be completely over. Any chance of reconciliation? Did you want to reconcile? No, but it's still a door I could walk through if I changed my mind. Maya, that door closed the second he brought a pregnant con artist into your home. What we're doing now isn't closing a door. It's opening one. To justice, to truth, to you getting your life back. Maya nodded. Okay, let's do it. Let's bring everything to David and make him see.
When? Tomorrow, before he marries her, before that baby's born, before Sophie Bennett becomes Sophie Richardson and disappears with everything he's built. Marcus picked up his phone, started dialing.
Who are you calling? Detective Chen. If we're doing this, we're doing it right. With law enforcement present, with documentation, with witnesses who can't be dismissed as a bitter ex-wife making trouble. Maya walked back to the window, looked at her reflection in the glass. The woman staring back wasn't the same person who'd found that text message 9 weeks ago. This version was harder, sharper, unafraid. Sophia Bennett had made a mistake. She'd assumed Maya would roll over and disappear quietly. She'd assumed a black woman whose marriage ended would just accept defeat and move on. She'd assumed wrong. And tomorrow, she was going to learn exactly how wrong she'd been. Detective Chen answered on the second ring. "Tell me you've got something concrete." Marcus put her on speaker. "Bank fraud, identity theft, conspiracy to commit fraud, and potentially assault. Maya just received a direct threat, and we have evidence linking Sophia to an attack on a previous victim. Send me everything, tonight. I'll get a warrant started, but I need the victim, your husband, to cooperate. Can you get him to talk?" Maya leaned toward the phone. "He won't listen to me. He thinks I'm making it all up out of jealousy." "Then we bring witnesses. We bring Jennifer Walsh. We make it impossible for him to dismiss this as bitter ex-wife syndrome." Sarah's voice was all business. "How fast can you set up a meeting?" "His office, tomorrow morning. I'll tell him it's about finalizing the divorce papers." "Good. I'll be there with a warrant application ready. If he cooperates, we can arrest Sophia by tomorrow afternoon. If he doesn't—" Sarah paused. "If he doesn't, we wait until the baby's born and prove paternity fraud. But that's 3 more weeks for her to steal from him or disappear." "She's not going to wait 3 weeks," Marcus said. "She moved $25,000 yesterday. She's spooked." "Then we move tomorrow. Maya, can you get him alone?" "I can try." "Don't try. Do it. Because if Sophia's there when we confront him, she'll manipulate him into defending her. We need him isolated, rational, and faced with evidence he can't deny." After hanging up, Maya sat in Marcus's office, staring at the wall. Tomorrow morning, she'd walk into David's office, the office in the building she'd helped him buy, and destroy whatever was left of his illusions about Sophia Bennett. "You okay?" Marcus asked. "I don't know. Part of me wants to save him. Part of me wants to watch him burn." "You can do both. Save him from losing everything. Let him burn with the humiliation of being conned." Marcus closed his laptop. "Maya, he chose this. He chose to believe a stranger over his wife of 14 years. He chose to blame you for infertility that was never your fault. He chose to bring a con artist into your home and let her call you a black bitch while he stood there silent. You don't owe him anything." "I know. But you're still going to try to save him." "Not for him. For me. So I can look in the mirror and know I did the right thing, even when he didn't deserve it." Maya left the office at midnight, drove home through empty Chicago streets, past the penthouse she used to live in, past the life she used to have. Her phone rang as she pulled into her apartment building. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Then thought about Jennifer Walsh in a hospital bed and answered. "Maya Richardson," breathing on the other end. Then Sophia's voice, cold and flat. "You need to stop." Maya parked, kept the engine running, phone on speaker. "Stop what?" "Whatever you think you're doing. Showing up at the party, asking questions, spreading lies about me. It needs to stop." "I haven't lied about anything. You told David I'm some kind of criminal, that I'm wanted in other states, that I'm running a con. That's defamation, Maya. I could sue you." "Go ahead. Discovery would be fascinating."
Silence. Then, "You're jealous. I get it. David left you for someone better, and you can't handle it. But you need to move on." Someone better? Is that what you tell yourself? That you're better than me? I'm pregnant with his child. You never could be. Yeah, I'm better. Maya laughed. Couldn't help it. Sophia, do you even know what oligospermia means? Another pause. Longer this time. What are you talking about? David's medical condition. The reason we couldn't have kids. You should probably ask him about it before you put his name on that birth certificate. You're lying. Am I? Or are you? Maya turned off the engine. I know about Tyler, Sophia. I know about Denver and Phoenix and Austin. I know about Jennifer Walsh. And I know that baby you're carrying isn't David's. The breathing on the other end got faster, panicked. You don't know shit. I know enough. And tomorrow morning, David's going to know too. So you've got about 12 hours to decide what you want to do. Run now and keep what you've stolen, or stay and go to prison. Your choice. If you tell him anything, you'll what? Have someone break into my apartment like you did to Jennifer? The police already know about that threat you sent me. They're watching, waiting. So please, make another mistake. Make it easier for them. Sophia hung up. Maya sat in her car, hands shaking, adrenaline making her dizzy. She'd just threatened a woman who'd put someone in the hospital. Smart? Probably not. But God, it felt good. Her phone rang again. This time it was Marcus. Tell me you didn't just do what I think you did. How did you? I'm monitoring your phone. Safety protocol. Maya, why would you provoke her? Because I'm tired of being afraid, tired of being careful. She came into my home, took my husband, called me names, and threatened me. I'm done being the victim. Being brave and being reckless are different things. Maybe, but tomorrow David finds out the truth. If she runs tonight, that's almost as good as arresting her. Either way, she loses. And if she doesn't run? If she decides you're the problem and needs to be eliminated? Maya looked up at her apartment building. Second floor, corner unit, all the lights off. You think she'd actually try something? Jennifer Walsh thought she was safe too. Now she's got a metal plate in her skull. I'm not Jennifer. No, you're not. You're the woman who's about to destroy a multi-million-dollar con and put her in prison. That makes you more dangerous to her, not less. Maya grabbed her bag, got out of the car. What do you want me to do? Go to a hotel, right now. Don't go to your apartment. Don't tell anyone where you are. I'll meet you there in 30 minutes. Marcus. Maya, please, just tonight. After we confront David tomorrow, after Sophia's arrested or gone, you can go home. But tonight, I need you somewhere safe. Maya looked at her apartment one more time, then got back in her car. Text me the address. The hotel was a Hilton near O'Hare. Generic, anonymous. The kind of place where no one paid attention to anyone. Marcus met her in the lobby with Detective Chen. What's she doing here? Protection detail, Sarah said. After that phone call, we can't take chances. I've got a patrol car outside your apartment and another one here. If Sophia or Tyler make a move, we'll know. They rode the elevator to the 8th floor. Marcus had booked 2 adjoining rooms. He took one, Maya took the other, and Sarah sat up in the hallway with her laptop and a very large cup of coffee. Get some sleep, Sarah said. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. Maya tried. Laid in the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling, going over every piece of evidence, every conversation, every moment of the last 9 weeks. At 3 a.m. she gave up and started writing. A letter to David. Everything she wanted to say, but probably wouldn't. How betrayed she felt. How devastated. How angry. But also how free. How strong. How ready to move on. She didn't plan to give him the letter. Writing it
was enough. At 7 a.m., Marcus knocked on the adjoining door. David's assistant confirmed the meeting. 9 o'clock, his office, just the two of you. Or so she thinks. When do you and Detective Chen come in? You talk to him first. Get him calm, rational, open to listening. Then text me. We'll come in with the evidence. Maya showered, put on her power suit, the black Armani she'd bought for a presentation that landed a $5 million account. Did her makeup carefully, hair pulled back in a bun that meant business. When she looked in the mirror, she saw a woman who'd survived the worst and come out sharper for it. The Richardson Development Corporation offices were on the 40th floor of a LaSalle Street high-rise. Maya had been here 100 times during the marriage, had brought clients here, hosted dinners here, celebrated deals here. Walking through the lobby felt like entering a past life. David's assistant, Cheryl, looked up when Maya approached. 55, white, had worked for David for 20 years. Maya, it's good to see you. Is it? Cheryl's expression softened. For what it's worth, I think he's making a mistake. You do? That woman, Sophia, she's not right. Something about her feels off. But David won't hear it. You know how he is when he's decided something. I do. Is he ready? Go on in. And Maya, whatever you're planning, I hope it works. David's office overlooked the Chicago River. Floor-to-ceiling windows, mahogany desk, leather chairs. He was on the phone when she walked in. Yeah, I'll call you back. My ex-wife just arrived. He hung up. Maya, have a seat. She sat, crossed her legs, looked at him like they were strangers negotiating a deal. Thanks for meeting with me. Cheryl said it was about the divorce papers. Are you finally ready to sign? That depends. On what? On whether you're ready to hear the truth about Sophia. David leaned back in his chair. We're not doing this again. Yes, we are. Because yesterday I was alone with theories and articles. Today, I have evidence. Police evidence. From multiple jurisdictions. Maya, David, shut up and listen. For once in your life, stop talking and listen. He did. Maybe because she'd never spoken to him like that before. Maybe because something in her voice told him this wasn't a game. Maya pulled out her phone, opened the photos Marcus had sent her. This is Sophie Bennett, also known as Sophia Mitchell, Sophia Rodriguez, and Sophie Davis. She's wanted in Colorado, Arizona, and Texas for fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy. She's conned 6 men in the last 5 years out of over $2 million total. She slid the phone across the desk. David picked it up, looked at the photos. His face didn't change. This isn't Sophia. It is. Different hair, maybe some cosmetic work, but it's her. Facial recognition confirms it. You had facial recognition run on my girlfriend? Your girlfriend is a criminal, David. Look at the dates on these articles. Look at the pattern. Married man, unexpected pregnancy, engagement, then disappearance right after the baby's born. Every single time. David pushed the phone back. This is insane. You've lost your mind. Have I? Or have you lost your ability to see what's right in front of you? Maya leaned forward. Where's Sophia from, David? What city? What state? Michigan. She grew up in... He stopped. Ann Arbor. Wrong. She grew up in Tucson. Her real name is Sophie Elena Bennett. She has a police record going back to age 18. Petty theft, fraud, identity theft. She's been arrested 4 times. You're lying. I'm really not. Maya took out her second phone, the burner Marcus had given her. Played the audio recording from the cafe. Sophia's voice filled the office. That black bitch? She's signing the divorce papers this week. David's lawyer said she's got no choice. The prenup's airtight. She gets basically nothing, and I get everything. David's face went white. The recording continued.
I'm so sick of pretending. He's so old and boring. Last night he wanted to talk about retirement accounts. Retirement.
Like, I'm going to be around for that. Tyler's voice. How much longer? Baby's due in 3 weeks. I'll stay maybe 2 weeks after. Get my name on everything I can. Then we're gone. I'm thinking Maui. David stood up, walked to the window, didn't turn around. Maya kept playing. By the time anyone figures it out, we'll be gone. New names, new city, new con. She stopped the recording. Let the silence fill the office. That's not her. David's voice was hollow. It is. Recorded 6 days ago at a cafe on Randolph. She was with Tyler Brooks, her boyfriend of 5 years. The father of her baby. That's impossible. The baby is mine. David, you're sterile. He turned around then. What did you say? Maya pulled out the medical report Dr. Wilson had given her, slid it across the desk. Severe oligospermia, bordering on azoospermia. You produce virtually no viable sperm. The likelihood of you fathering a child naturally is less than 1%. You've been sterile since your 20s. David picked up the report, read it again. This is fake. You fabricated this. Call Dr. Wilson yourself. His number's on the letterhead. Better yet, call St. Mary's Hospital and request your original test results from 2011. The ones Dr. Foster buried to protect your ego. Dr. Foster said you were the problem. Dr. Foster lied. He lost his medical license last year for doing exactly that. Lying to women to protect men's feelings. You were sterile the whole time, David. And I spent 14 years thinking I was broken. David sat back down, hard, like his legs couldn't hold him. If I'm sterile, then the baby isn't yours. It's Tyler's. Sophia's been playing you from the beginning. The affair, the pregnancy, the engagement, all of it was planned. You're mark number 7. No, she loves me. She loves your money. You're worth $40 million. The others were worth $200,000, $500,000, maybe $1 million. You're the jackpot, the big score, and she almost pulled it off. David's hands were shaking. He opened his desk drawer, pulled out a bottle of scotch and a glass, poured with unsteady hands. How long have you known? About Sophia being a con artist? 3 weeks. About you being sterile? 2 weeks. About her planning to disappear after the baby's born? 1 week. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Maya stood up, walked to the window, stood next to him looking out at Chicago. Would you have believed me? You called me crazy at the engagement party, told me to get professional help, said I was making up conspiracy theories. Why would 2 weeks ago have been different? I don't know. You wanted to believe her. You wanted that baby, that young wife, that new life so badly, you ignored every red flag. And there were flags, David. You had to have seen them. I saw what I wanted to see. We all do. Maya turned to face him. David, the police are involved now. Detective Sarah Chen from Chicago PD is building a case. If you cooperate, if you press charges, Sophia goes to prison. If you don't, she walks away with whatever she's already stolen and finds another man to con. How much has she stolen? $127,000 that we know of. Moved to offshore accounts. Could be more. David drank the scotch in one gulp, poured another. I left you for a con artist. Threw away 14 years of marriage for a woman who was lying to me from day one. Yes, and you came here to tell me, to save me, after everything I did to you. I came here to tell you the truth. What you do with it is up to you. David looked at her. Really looked. For the first time in months, maybe years, he saw her.
I'm sorry, Maya, for all of it. The affair, the divorce, blaming you for the infertility, all of it. I'm sorry. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say, David? That I forgive you? That we can work it out? We can't. You destroyed us.
And whether Sophia's a con artist or not doesn't change what you did to me.
I know.
Good. Maya pulled out her phone.
Texted Marcus. Come up. He's ready.
Who's that?
Marcus.
She's done this to 6 other men. One of them is dead. Another one is permanently disabled. You're lucky Maya found out before something worse happened. The office door opened. Marcus walked in first. Then Detective Sarah Chen in full uniform. David stood up. I don't know if I can do this.
You can, Maya said, because the alternative is watching her take everything and disappear, and then doing it to someone else. Sarah stepped forward. Mr. Richardson, I'm Detective Sarah Chen.
I need to ask you some questions about Sophia Mitchell, also known as Sophie Bennett.
Is she really wanted in 3 states?
4 now. We added Illinois yesterday. The charges include identity theft, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, and grand theft. If convicted, she's looking at 15 to 20 years. David sat back down. What do you need from me? Everything. Bank records, contracts, emails, texts, anything that shows her accessing your money or using false identification.
And I need you to sign a statement saying you were defrauded. What happens then?
We arrest her. Today, if possible, before she can move any more money or flee the state.
She's pregnant.
I'm aware. We'll handle the arrest carefully. But Mr. Richardson, time is critical. Every hour she's free is another hour she could run. David looked at Maya. Will you stay while I give my statement?
Why?
Because I don't trust myself not to call her, not to warn her.
And I think if you're here, I won't.
Maya looked at Marcus. He nodded. I'll stay. For the next 2 hours, David gave his statement. Every detail of how they met, how quickly things moved, how she'd isolated him from friends, how she'd gained access to his accounts. Sarah recorded everything, taking notes, asking follow-up questions. When he got to the part about Maya, how he'd blamed her for the infertility, how he'd abandoned her, his voice broke.
I wanted a child so badly, I convinced myself it was her fault. And Sophia knew that. She used it against me.
How? Sarah asked. She'd say things like, I can give you what she couldn't, or, finally, you'll have a real family. She knew exactly what to say to make me feel like leaving my wife was justified.
Did she ever threaten you?
No, she was always sweet, gentle, until Maya showed up at the engagement party. Then I saw something different, something cold.
What did she say?
She said Maya was dangerous, that I needed to cut her off completely, file a restraining order, make sure she couldn't contact me. Sarah looked at Maya.
Did you know about this?
No, but it tracks with her pattern. Isolate the victim from anyone who might expose her. David signed the statement at 1 p.m. Sarah made copies, handed him one. Mr. Richardson, I'm going to request a warrant now. We'll arrest Miss Mitchell this afternoon. I need you to not contact her. Don't warn her. Don't tip her off. Can you do that? Where will you arrest her? At your home, the penthouse. That's my home too. I understand, but we need to arrest her where she has the most evidence of fraud, your shared residence. You can be present or not. Your choice. David looked at Maya. Will you come?
To watch your pregnant girlfriend get arrested? David, are you serious?
I need you there, as a witness, and as... He stopped. As someone who understands what this feels like, to be betrayed by someone you trusted. Maya wanted to say no, wanted to walk away and let him face this alone like she'd faced her humiliation alone. But she didn't. Fine, I'll be there. But David, this doesn't mean we're reconciling. This doesn't mean I forgive you. It means I'm seeing this through to the end. I know. And Maya, thank you for not letting me marry a criminal and lose everything. I didn't do it for you. I know that too. At 3 p.m., they gathered outside the penthouse. Maya, David, Marcus, Detective Chen, and 2 uniformed officers. Sarah had the warrant in hand. Mr. Richardson, do you want to call her down or should we go up? David pulled out his phone, dialed, put it on speaker. Hey babe, where are you? Sophia's voice was cheerful, unsuspecting. At home, working on the nursery. Where are you? Downstairs. Can you come down? I need to show you something. Can it wait? I'm in the middle of... It's important. Please, Sophia. 5 minutes. Fine. I'll be right down. They waited. Maya's heart pounded so hard she thought everyone could hear it. The elevator dinged. Sophia stepped out. 8 months pregnant, wearing yoga pants and a Northwestern sweatshirt. Her hair was in a messy bun. She looked young, vulnerable, nothing like the calculated con artist Maya knew she was. Then she saw the police. Saw Maya. Her expression changed instantly, from confused to furious. What the hell is this? Sarah stepped forward. Sophie Bennett, I'm Detective Sarah Chen with Chicago PD. You're under arrest for fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy to commit theft. You have the right to remain silent. This is insane! Sophia backed toward the elevator. David, tell them this is a mistake. David said nothing. David, tell them! I know about Tyler, David said quietly. I know about Denver and Phoenix and all the others. I know the baby isn't mine. I know everything. Sophia's face went white, then red. Then she screamed. That bitch told you! That fucking bitter, jealous bitch! Ma'am, please turn around and put your hands behind your back, Sarah said calmly. I'm pregnant! You can't arrest me! I'll sue! She ran, tried to get back in the elevator. The uniformed officers caught her. Gently. She was pregnant, but firmly. Sophie Bennett, you're under arrest. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I want a lawyer. I'm not saying anything. David, please. You know I love you. This is all a misunderstanding. David turned his back, walked to the window, stared at the city. Sophia was still screaming as they cuffed her. You'll regret this. You'll all regret this. That baby is yours, David. Get a DNA test. You'll see. Sarah read her the rest of her rights. The officers walked her out. Her screams echoed in the lobby until the doors closed. Then silence. David turned back to Maya. Tears were running down his face. I'm going to lose everything, aren't I? No. You'll lose some money, some dignity, some time dealing with legal fallout. But David, you still have your company, your freedom, your future. Jennifer Walsh almost died. The Milwaukee victim killed himself. You're getting off easy. This doesn't feel easy. It's not supposed to. Marcus approached them. Detective Chen wants statements from both of you. And, Mr. Richardson, she needs access to your computers, phones, any correspondence with Sophia. Full cooperation. She'll have it. David looked at Maya. What happens now? Now, you rebuild. You figure out who you are when you're not trying to prove something. You grow up. And you? I already did that. 9 weeks ago when you left me with nothing. I rebuilt myself. Found a new job, new life, new strength. You're just starting that journey. David wiped his eyes. I really loved her. Or I thought I did. I don't even know anymore. You loved the fantasy, the young wife, the baby, the second chance. Sophia was smart enough to be whatever fantasy you needed.
How did you know? How did you figure it out?
Maya smiled, sad but real.
Because I paid attention. Because I didn't let my ego blind me.
And because when someone tells you who they are, through their actions, their choices, their cruelty, you should believe them. Her phone buzzed. Text from Angela Morrison. Heard you had an exciting afternoon. Drinks tomorrow to celebrate? My treat. Maya typed back. Definitely. She looked at David one last time. Good luck, David. I mean that. Despite everything, I hope you learn from this. Will I see you again? In court, probably. For the trial. Maybe to finalize the divorce. But after that? No. We're done. Maya, we're done, David. You chose Sophia over me. You chose to believe I was broken over believing in us. That's not something I can forgive just because she turned out to be a con artist. You made your choice. Now live with it. Maya walked out of the lobby. Marcus followed. That was cold, he said. That was honest. He's destroyed. You saw his face. Good. Maybe destruction is what he needed. Maybe now he'll build something real instead of building on lies. They drove back to Marcus's office. Sarah called while they were en route. Sophia's lawyer up. Expensive one, too. Someone wired her $50,000 for bail and legal fees. Who? Maya asked. Still tracking that. But Maya? She made one phone call from the station, to a number in Nevada. We're tracing it now, but I think this might be bigger than just Sophia and Tyler. How much bigger? National. Maybe international. This might be an organized ring, and Sophia might just be one player. Maya leaned back in her seat, closed her eyes. 9 weeks ago, she'd been a wife, then an abandoned wife, then an unemployed abandoned wife. Now she was a woman who'd just taken down a criminal organization. Detective, whatever you need from me, you've got it. Testimony, evidence, whatever. Good, because Sophia's trial is going to be major. And Maya, you're going to be the star witness. After Sarah hung up, Marcus looked over at her. You okay? I'm exhausted, and relieved, and angry, and vindicated, and sad. I'm everything all at once. That's normal. Is it? Because I don't feel normal. I feel like I've been at war for 9 weeks, and I finally won, but I don't even remember what I was fighting for anymore. You were fighting for truth, for justice, for yourself. Maya opened her eyes, looked out at Chicago passing by. Yeah, I guess I was. Her phone rang. Kelly. Oh my God, Maya, I just heard. Sophia got arrested? Is it true? It's true. Holy shit. You were right. About everything. I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. Kelly. No, let me say this. I was a terrible friend. I chose sides instead of choosing you, and I'm sorry. Can we have coffee? Can I try to make this right? Maya thought about 15 years of friendship, about how easily Kelly had abandoned her, about how people only apologized when the truth came out and they looked bad. I'll think about it. That's fair. That's more than fair. Kelly paused. For what it's worth, I always knew you were strong. But Maya, what you did here, that's beyond strong. That's legendary. After Kelly hung up, Maya smiled. Legendary. She could live with that. 3 weeks passed in a blur of depositions, legal briefs, and media attention. The story broke on local news first. Millionaire real estate developer's pregnant fiancée arrested for fraud. Then went national. By day 3, Maya's phone was ringing non-stop with reporters wanting her side of the story. She gave one interview.
to a black woman journalist from the Tribune who understood what it meant to be blamed for infertility you never had. Mrs. Richardson, what do you want people to know about this case? Maya looked directly into the camera. I want women to know that when your gut tells you something's wrong, listen. Don't let people gaslight you into thinking you're crazy or jealous or bitter. And I want men to know that young women who seem too good to be true usually are. The interview went viral. 3 million views in 2 days. Suddenly, Maya wasn't just David Richardson's bitter ex-wife. She was the woman who took down a criminal enterprise. Angela Morrison called her the day after the interview aired. You're getting offers, speaking engagements, book deals. A podcast wants you as a regular guest. What do you want to do? I want to work. I want to be known for what I build, not what I survived. Good answer. But Maya, you can do both. You can build your career and use your platform. Think about it. She did think about it. But first, she had to get through the trial. The baby came early, 2 weeks before the trial was scheduled to start. Detective Chen called Maya at 6 a.m. Sophia went into labor last night. Baby boy, 7 pounds, healthy. Tyler Brooks showed up at the hospital pretending to be her brother. We've detained him. Did they do the DNA test? Court order was already in place. Results will be back in 72 hours. But Maya, Sophia's asking for David, says the baby needs his father. Her lawyer's pushing for him to be present. Is he going? I don't know. That's between them. Maya hung up and sat in her apartment. The new one she'd rented after getting the Morrison media job. 2 bedrooms in Lincoln Park, bright and modern and completely hers. And waited. David called at noon. Did you hear? I heard. I'm at Northwestern Memorial, Sophia's room. She wants me to see the baby. Are you going to? Silence. Then, I don't know what to do, Maya. David, that's not my problem anymore. I know, but you're the only person who's been honest with me through this whole thing. Should I see him? Maya walked to her window, looked out at the city where she'd lost everything and rebuilt from nothing. Do you want to see him? I don't know. Part of me still hopes. Hopes what? That the DNA test will somehow prove he's yours, despite medical evidence showing you're sterile? David, you need to stop hoping for miracles and start accepting reality. The reality is that I was going to be a father, and now I'm not. And that, his voice cracked, that hurts more than the money or the humiliation or any of it. I know it does. Do you? You never wanted kids that badly. Not like I did. Maya's hand tightened on the phone. I wanted them just as badly, David. I just had the decency not to abandon my spouse when I couldn't have them. There's a difference. You're right. You're right about everything. As usual. He breathed heavily. I'm not going to see the baby. I'm going home. Good. That's the first smart decision you've made in months. Maya? What? When this is over, the trial, the divorce, all of it, can we try to be friends? No. Just like that? No consideration? Just like that. David, you don't get to hurt me the way you did and then ask for friendship. You get civility. You get professional courtesy. But friendship? That requires trust, and I'll never trust you again. She hung up before he could respond. The DNA results came back 48 hours later. Tyler Brooks was the father, with 99.9% certainty. David Richardson was excluded entirely. Detective Chen released the results to the media the same day. Millionaire discovers pregnant fiancé's baby isn't his. Con artist arrested. Real father also in custody. The headlines were brutal. David's company stock dropped 12% in one day.
His business partners started distancing themselves. The invitations to galas and fundraisers dried up overnight. Maya felt no satisfaction in his suffering, just exhaustion. Marcus met her for coffee the day before the trial started. "You ready for this?" "Do I have a choice?" "You could ask for a closed courtroom, keep the media out." "No, I want everyone to see what she did. Every lie, every manipulation, every dollar stolen. I want it public." "Sophia's lawyer is going to try to make you look vindictive. Bitter ex-wife out for revenge." "Let him try. I've got 14 years of marriage and 9 weeks of investigation on my side. What does she have? A fake name and a stolen life." The trial started on a Monday in February. Cook County Criminal Court, Judge Patricia Moreno presiding. The courtroom was packed. Media, victims from other cities, David's business associates, and Maya, sitting in the front row with Marcus on one side and Angela Morrison on the other. Sophia walked in wearing a modest dress, hair pulled back, no makeup, playing the victim. The baby was with Child Services. She'd lost custody the day the DNA results came back. Her lawyer, Richard Brennan, stood for opening statements. "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is a case about a young woman who made mistakes. Yes, she used a different name. Yes, she was involved with multiple men. But is that fraud? Or is that just a complicated life? My client never forced anyone to give her money. She never threatened anyone. She was in relationships with men who freely chose to support her. That's not a crime. That's life." The prosecutor, Amanda Chen, no relation to Marcus or Sarah, stood next. "The defense wants you to believe this is about complicated relationships. It's not. This is about Sophie Bennett, a woman who has systematically targeted, deceived, and robbed 7 men across 8 states over 5 years. She uses fake identities. She fakes pregnancies, or gets pregnant by her boyfriend and claims it's the victim's child. She isolates these men from their families and friends. Then she disappears with their money. This isn't complicated. This is criminal." Maya was called to testify on day 2. Amanda walked her through everything: how she met David, their marriage, the infertility struggles, the discovery of the affair. "Mrs. Richardson, when did you first suspect something was wrong with Sophia Mitchell?" "When I saw the text messages, the language she used, calling me names, talking about taking my home. It wasn't the language of a woman in love. It was the language of someone executing a plan." "And what did you do?" "I investigated. I hired a private investigator. I found her real identity, her criminal history, her pattern of behavior." "Why didn't you just tell your husband immediately?" "Because he wouldn't have believed me. He was in love with the fantasy she was selling. I needed irrefutable proof." Brennan cross-examined her aggressively. "Mrs. Richardson, isn't it true that you're a bitter ex-wife who couldn't accept that your husband found happiness with someone else?" "No. You spent thousands of dollars investigating my client. You showed up at their engagement party, uninvited. You harassed them with accusations. Doesn't that sound like someone who can't let go?" "I showed up to an event I was invited to. I investigated a woman who was committing fraud. And I saved my ex-husband from losing everything. If that's harassment, then I'm guilty. You're also guilty of infertility, aren't you? That's what really drove Mr. Richardson away. Your failure as a woman." Amanda shot up. "Objection! Relevance and harassment of the witness." "Sustained." Judge Moreno glared at Brennan. "Counselor, one more comment like that, and you'll be held in contempt." But the damage was done. The jury had heard it. Maya had been called a failure as a woman in open court. She looked directly at Brennan. "I'm not infertile. My ex-husband is. Medical records prove it. But even if I were, that wouldn't excuse fraud. Women aren't commodities you trade in when they can't produce children." The courtroom erupted in applause. Judge Moreno banged her gavel. Order! Maya stepped down, hands shaking, and walked back to her seat. Angela squeezed her hand.
You did good. He called me a failure. And you called him out. The jury saw that. Trust me, they're on your side.
David testified on day 3. He looked terrible. 20 pounds lighter, hair graying at the temples, eyes hollow. Amanda walked him through the relationship, how Sophia approached him, how quickly things moved, how she gained access to his accounts. Mr. Richardson, did you give Ms. Bennett permission to transfer $127,000 to offshore accounts? No, I didn't know about those accounts until Detective Chen showed me the records. Did you know her real name was Sophie Bennett? No, she told me she was Sophia Mitchell from Ann Arbor. Did you know she had a boyfriend throughout your relationship? No, I thought... David's voice broke. I thought she loved me. Did you know the baby wasn't biologically yours? No, she told me it was mine. I believed her because I wanted it to be true. Brennan's cross was brutal. Mr. Richardson, you're a successful businessman, correct? Yes. You've negotiated multi-million-dollar deals. You've built a company from nothing. Yet you want this jury to believe you were fooled by a 26-year-old receptionist? I was in love. Love makes you blind. Or maybe you weren't in love. Maybe you just wanted a younger woman, a trophy wife, and you didn't care about the details as long as you got what you wanted. That's not true, isn't it? You abandoned your wife of 14 years the moment a pretty blonde said she was pregnant. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't ask questions. You just jumped at the chance to have what you'd always wanted. And now that it's fallen apart, you want to blame my client for your poor judgment. David looked at the jury. I made mistakes. I hurt people. But that doesn't change the fact that I was defrauded. She lied about who she was, lied about the baby, and stole my money. Those are facts. The trial lasted 2 weeks. Victim after victim testified. The Denver man who lost $200,000. The Phoenix man who lost his business. Jennifer Walsh from Milwaukee, still walking with a cane from the attack that nearly killed her. Then Tyler Brooks took the stand. He'd cut a deal. Testimony against Sophia in exchange for reduced charges. How long have you been with Sophie Bennett? 6 years, since high school. And you knew about her activities with other men? Yeah, it was the plan. She'd find a rich guy, I'd get her pregnant, we'd split the money. Whose idea was it? Sophie's. She said she'd watched her mom struggle all her life being poor. She wasn't going to live like that. Did you love her? Tyler looked at Sophia. She was crying, shaking her head, mouthing, "No." I thought I did, but looking back, I think we were just partners in crime. There wasn't love, just greed. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. When they came back, Sophia was standing between her lawyers, hands clasped, face pale. On the count of identity theft, how do you find? Guilty. On the count of wire fraud? Guilty. On the count of conspiracy to commit theft? Guilty. All 12 counts. Guilty on every single one. Sophia collapsed, literally fell to the floor, screaming. Her lawyers tried to help her up, but she was hysterical, thrashing, sobbing. "This isn't fair. I'm a mother. I have a baby. You can't do this." Judge Moreno banged her gavel. "Ms. Bennett, control yourself, or you'll be removed from this courtroom." "I want my baby. Give me my baby." "Your baby is in protective custody. You'll have no contact until you've served your sentence." Judge Moreno looked at the prosecutor. "Sentencing in 2 weeks. Bail is revoked. Ms. Bennett will remain in custody." As they led Sophia out, she turned and looked directly at Maya. The mask was gone. No more sweet pregnant girlfriend. Just pure rage. "This is your fault. All of it.
You destroyed my life.
Maya stared back, said nothing. Didn't need to. Sophia was dragged out screaming. The courtroom emptied slowly. Maya sat there with Angela and Marcus, letting the weight of it sink in. "It's over," Marcus said. "Not quite. Sentencing still. She's looking at 15 years minimum. Multiple counts, multiple victims, a vulnerable population. Judge Moreno's not going to be lenient." Maya stood up, walked out of the courtroom. Reporters were waiting outside, cameras flashing, microphones thrust in her face. "Mrs. Richardson, how do you feel about the verdict?" "I feel like justice was served." "Do you have a message for other women who might be going through something similar?" Maya stopped, looked directly at the camera. "Trust your instincts. Trust your worth. And don't let anyone convince you that your value is tied to your fertility, your youth, or your willingness to accept betrayal quietly. You deserve better. We all do." Sentencing came 2 weeks later. Judge Moreno gave Sophia 18 years, with possibility of parole after 12. Tyler got 8 years. The other members of the fraud ring, there were 3 more in different states, got similar sentences. David attended the sentencing, sat in the back, alone. When it was over, he approached Maya in the hallway. "Can we talk?" "We're talking. I mean, really talk. About us. About what happens next." "David, there is no us. There's no next for us. You're going to rebuild your company. I'm going to keep building my career. And we're going to be strangers who once knew each other. I'm in therapy 3 times a week, working through everything. The entitlement, the ego, the way I treated you. My therapist says I need to make amends." "Great. Consider them made. We're done here." "Maya, please. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I need you to know." "Know what? That you're sorry? I already know that. That you made mistakes? I know that too. What else is there?" David reached into his jacket, pulled out papers. "The divorce settlement. I'm giving you half. Half of everything. The house, the company, the investments. It's what you should have gotten from the beginning." Maya took the papers, scanned them. $7 million. Half of everything he had left after paying back fraud victims and legal fees. "Why?" "Because it's right. Because you helped build that company. Because I owe you more than money can repay. And because—" He stopped. "Because you saved me. From Sophia, from myself, from losing everything. This is the only way I know to say thank you." Maya folded the papers, put them in her bag. "I'll have my lawyer review these." "Maya." "Goodbye, David." She walked away, didn't look back. 6 months later, Maya stood on a stage at the Chicago Women's Leadership Conference. 500 women in the audience, all of them looking at her like she was something special. "When my husband left me, I thought my life was over. I'd spent 14 years being someone's wife, someone's partner, someone's failed attempt at motherhood. And when he was gone, I didn't know who I was anymore." The room was silent, hanging on every word. "But losing everything taught me something. It taught me that I'm not defined by who loves me. I'm defined by how I love myself, by what I build when everything's been torn down, by my refusal to accept other people's lies about my worth." Angela Morrison sat in the front row, beaming with pride. Marcus was there too, along with Kelly. They'd had that coffee date and were slowly rebuilding their friendship. Even Patricia from the old firm had come. Some people ask me if I'm angry, if I'm bitter about what happened. And honestly, I'm grateful. Because that betrayal forced me to become the woman I was always supposed to be. Strong, independent, unbreakable.
The applause started before she finished. By the time she walked off stage, women were standing, some crying, all of them clapping like she'd just won a war. Which, in a way, she had. That night, Maya had dinner with Angela at a restaurant overlooking the lake. They toasted with expensive wine, the kind Maya could actually afford now. "You're going to write that book," Angela said. "The one about your story." "Maybe." "Not maybe, definitely. You've got something women need to hear, especially black women. Especially women who've been told they're not enough." "What if people think I'm just capitalizing on trauma?" "Then let them think that. Maya, you survived. You won. You rebuilt. That's not capitalizing, that's teaching, and other women deserve to learn from what you went through." Maya looked out at the lake, thought about where she was a year ago. Broken, humiliated, abandoned. And where she was now, successful, powerful, free. "I'll write it, but only if I can tell the whole truth, the messy parts, the parts where I wanted to give up, the parts where I wasn't strong. Those are the most important parts. That's what makes you human. That's what makes your story matter." They finished dinner, walked out into the Chicago night. March wind off the lake, cold but promising spring. Maya's phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. "Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm going through a divorce and my friend said I should reach out to you. My husband left me for a younger woman who's pregnant. I don't know what to do. Can you help?" Maya stared at the text, then typed back, "Yes, I can help. Call me tomorrow." Because that's what survivors do. They reach back and pull the next woman up. 3 months after that, Maya met someone. Not at a bar or through friends, at a bookstore. She was buying a book on starting over. He was buying one on being a better father after divorce. "Good choice," he said, nodding at her book. "Yours too." His name was James, 45, black, divorced with 2 kids. A psychiatrist who specialized in trauma recovery. He was kind, patient, nothing like David. They dated slowly. Coffee first, then dinner, then long walks where they talked about their past marriages and what they'd learned. "My ex-wife said I was emotionally unavailable," James told her one night. And she was right. "I spent so much time fixing other people's problems, I ignored my own marriage. My ex-husband said I was the reason we couldn't have kids. Turns out he was the infertile one, and the doctor lied to protect his ego." James stopped walking. "Jesus, how did you not burn his entire life to the ground?" "I tried. Then I realized his life was already burning. I just documented it." He laughed, really laughed. And Maya realized she'd been waiting for someone who could laugh at the darkness with her. 6 months into dating, James asked her to meet his kids. 2 girls, 8 and 10, smart and curious and wary of their dad's new girlfriend. "Are you going to marry our dad?" the older one asked. "I don't know. We're taking things slow." "Good." Mom rushed into things with her boyfriend, and now they're fighting all the time. Slow is better. Maya looked at James. He smiled, proud of his daughter's wisdom. Later, after the girls went to bed, James poured wine and they sat on his back porch. "You don't have to decide anything now. About us, about marriage, about any of it." "I know. But I want you to know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not looking for someone to fix me or complete me. I'm just looking for a partner, an equal, someone who makes life better just by being in it." Maya looked at this man who said the right words and meant them, who didn't need her to be perfect or produce children or make him feel young again. "I'm still figuring out who I am without being someone's wife." "Then figure it out. I'll be here when you're done." A year after the trial, Maya's book came out. Not Broken, A Black Woman's Journey from Betrayal to Power.
It hit the New York Times bestseller list in week 2. By week 4, it was number 1. The reviews were incredible. A necessary story for our time. Maya Richardson refuses to be a victim and teaches us all how to refuse. Essential reading for every woman who's ever been told she's not enough. David sent flowers when the book released. Maya threw them away without reading the card. Sophia, serving year 2 of her 18-year sentence, wrote a letter from prison. Maya's lawyer forwarded it. Dear Maya, I know you probably hate me. You should. I destroyed your marriage and tried to destroy your life. But I want you to know that watching you rebuild yourself taught me something. You didn't need a man or a baby or wealth to be valuable. You were always valuable. I just never learned that about myself. Maybe in here, I'll figure out who I am when I'm not running a con. Maybe I'll become someone worth being. I doubt you'll ever forgive me, but I had to try. Sophie. Maya read the letter once, then filed it away. Forgiveness wasn't on the table yet. Maybe never. But acknowledgement was something. 2 years after the trial, Maya stood in her penthouse, the new one she'd bought with her settlement money, bigger than the old one, decorated entirely to her taste, and hosted a party. Angela was there with her husband, Marcus with his wife, Kelly with her new girlfriend, James with his daughters, Patricia, Sarah Chen, even Dr. Wilson. To Maya, Angela said, raising her glass, who taught us all that falling isn't failure. Staying down is. They toasted, laughed, ate good food and told stories, and celebrated life. Later, after everyone left, Maya stood on her balcony looking at Chicago spread out below her. Same city where she'd lost everything, where she'd been humiliated and abandoned and told she wasn't enough. But different now, because she was different. Her phone rang. James. You okay? You got quiet at the end of the party. I'm good. Just thinking. About how strange it is that the worst thing that ever happened to me turned into the best thing. You turned it into the best thing. Big difference. Maya smiled. Yeah, I guess I did. I love you. You know that, right? She did know. Could feel it every time he looked at her. Every time he listened without trying to fix. Every time he chose her without needing her to be anything other than herself. I love you too. After hanging up, Maya went inside, looked at her reflection in the floor-to-ceiling windows. 43 years old, black, brilliant, successful, loved. Not because she'd gotten revenge on David, or destroyed Sophia, or written a best-selling book, but because she'd looked at herself in the mirror after losing everything and decided she was still worth fighting for. That's what Maya Richardson learned in the year her life fell apart and came back together. That you can't control who betrays you. You can't control who lies to you, or leaves you, or tries to destroy you. But you can control who you become in the aftermath. And she'd chosen to become unstoppable. 3 years after David left her for a pregnant con artist, Maya stood in a courthouse again. But this time, it wasn't for a trial. It was for her wedding to James. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. Her mother crying happy tears. James's daughters serving as flower girls. Marcus walking her down the aisle because he'd helped her get there. When the judge asked if anyone objected, Maya half expected David to stand up from wherever he was, wherever his life had taken him after everything fell apart. But no one did. I now pronounce you husband and wife. James kissed her. The room erupted in applause. And Maya Thompson Richardson Williams walked out of that courtroom into a life she'd built with her own 2 hands. A life where she was enough exactly as she was, where her worth wasn't measured by what her body could produce, or who chose to stay, or how much she was willing to endure. A life where she'd learned the most important truth of all, that the only person who needed to believe in her was herself. And that was more than enough.